Hello once again, everybody, and welcome to the Mark Richt Show, presented by Williamson Automotive. I'm Joe Zagacki alongside former University of Miami center and team captain Don Bailey Jr. And of course, as always, we have with us the coach, head coach Mark Richt. And coach, a great win this past week against Appalachian State.
Yeah, it was great. Beautiful setting. They're tucked in the middle of the mountains. Beautiful trees everywhere. It was nice and cool. What was really nice too is the amount of fans that showed up for the game, and all the support we had from our players, parents, and families, and our wives and kids, the whole thing. So it was very, very comforting to have that support, and then for us to play the way we played was fantastic. I was really proud of the guys.
Coach, when you were marching down the field, well, let's talk about how you start the game. First play of the game, first offensive play of the game, goes for an 80-yard touchdown.
I felt like, you know what? We know they're a physical team. We're trying to be a physical team. Let's run one of the most physical blocking plays we have, which is our power play, and let's just see what happens. And so that's how we started the game. The one guy we can't get to is the strong safety, and he does his job well as far as filling that spot. I mean, he went so quick. There's no way our receiver could have touched him. But Mark used his strength and his power and his ability to break tackles to bust on out of there and take it to the house. And I think it's a tribute to him, our line, our receivers, because there was a backside block that sprung him, but also our strength staff. I think the work the kids put in all spring, summer, and early fall has paid off.
Also, when you look at your defense again, tackle for loss, tackle for loss, tackle for loss. Certainly like to see that, and you've seen it every single week.
Yeah, well, most of those happened in the second half, and a lot of it was because we began to play that stretch play better. And the other reason, I think, was the score differential. We got them in a position where they had to do some things that they're not really comfortable doing. Just dropping back and throwing it, on downs that normally they'd be liking to run the ball. So by virtue of the fact that our defense played better against their bread and butter play, which was the stretch play, and the fact that they had to do things they really didn't want to do, that's why we got those tackles for loss.
Coach, in special teams as well, you said Badgley, after that field goal, it looked like those kickoffs got a little deeper as well.
They did. I mean, better hang time, better position on the kicks, better location. But it was good for him to make that kick, and 44 yards, whatever it was. Good for him. And then I think 6 out of 8 of his kickoffs were not returned, and one of them that went out of bounds would have, if it would have been just a little bit to the right, it would have been 7 out of 8 that would not have been returned. So that when you kick like that, your kickoff coverage team is really good.
One catch we have to talk about is Berrios' catch on the sideline.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and the throw. Let's not forget the throw.
Well, we looked at tape as a team. We show highlights of guys doing things in a championship way. And that was one of the plays. But the play that we showed before that, if you remember, it was either spring game or it was
spring game.
Spring game. Same thing.
Same thing.
If you remember, that little down and out.
That's right.
It's almost the exact same throw, almost the exact same catch. Toe tap it, barely stayed in bounds. So just talk about, hey, things don't always just happen on Saturday. They happen in the preparation all along. And so he did that very same thing in practice, and then it happened in the game. And that's, coaches love it when that happens.
Right now, let's take a look at the highlights between the Hurricanes and Appalachian State, presented by UHealth Sports Medicine. At UHealth, we get you back in the game. It's Miami and Appalachian State. We'll find out what happens when David meets Goliath. And away we go. From the Miami 20-yard line. First down handoff to Walton, left side. Hit once, breaks out of that tackle across the 25-30. And here we go! There he goes! It's a drag race to the end zone at the 20, 15, 10, 5. Mark Walton goes all the way for a Miami touchdown! Kaya takes the shotgun snap. Flicks his fingers, lets it go. End zone, caught, touchdown! David Njoku. Touchdown, Miami! From the gun, Kaya takes the snap. Fires it down the field. Cooley's wide open at the 30. He's at the 20. He's at the 10. And Cooley jogs into the end zone. Touchdown, Miami. 55 yards. Lamb on a throwback to the far side, and it's Barrett Burns hauls it in for the score. And welcome back into the game, Appalachian State. 3rd and 10 from the 25 of Miami. Kaya with a good pocket and lets this one fly deep down the sideline. It's caught! Down to 30, 25-20, down to the 15, and the flag is down. Hauls it in on a dead run. A majestic throw from Brad Kaya. On the ground here, we had a cutback to the right side. Breaks a tackle at the 5. Yearby twisting, turning, kicking, and into the end zone for a Miami touchdown. Sends the shotgun snap back to Kaya. Scans the end zone, throws, caught for a touchdown. Is Stacy Coley for the score. And the roof is caving in now on Appalachian State. Kaya connects with Walton right up the middle and dives into the end zone for a Miami touchdown. Hurricanes 45, Mountaineers 10. Miami goes to 3-0.
Welcome back to the Mark Richt Show, presented by Williamson Automotive. Joe Zagacki with Don Bailey Jr. and the coach, Mark Richt. And some exciting things going on this week at the University of Miami. Right near the top of the list, the Hurricanes have new uniforms, and we got a good look at those new uniforms. In fact, Don Bailey Jr. has one on.
Looks really good on you, Don.
Thanks, Coach. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's a little tight.
You know, there's a picture of Don and I in my house. I'm taking the snap from Don, you know, and I told my wife, I said the reason why I wasn't, you know, that great, I said, look at the size of the arms of this center here.
They're about like this.
I like that now. I mean, yeah, like it's the same arms.
It's the same picture.
That's how big they were in college. No, somehow Jim Kelly became All-American behind that guy. So he was a great player, but his arms really weren't very big.
No, they really weren't.
Snap with two hands, with the other hand on the ground, too.
We got out of that habit, too.
So we have going to have a new look. You're going to unveil the look for the next home game against Florida State. Orange on white, orange jerseys, white pants with, I like the white numbers. And then the other ones are white jerseys, orange pants, or white pants? Orange pants with green numbers. And pretty, back to the days of what, the 80s?
Yeah.
I like it.
A very good era. We had a very good era.
Exactly.
Won a lot of games.
That was all decided before I got here, by the way. So usually decisions are made a couple years in advance when it comes to jerseys, because it takes a while to produce them, and then you have retail and all that kind of thing that goes along with it. But I'm excited about it.
But Coach, you've always been on the traditional side of uniforms as well, right?
Yeah, I am. But everybody has an opinion of what tradition is.
In Miami, it's like, you know, whatever Vinny and Bernie or Dorsey wore.
Absolutely.
Right?
That's exactly how it goes.
Or whichever one won a national
championship.
championship.
Yeah, right.
That's the problem in Miami. There's too many. But that's a good problem.
All right, so the bye week, Georgia Tech is coming up, but how will you spend the bye week?
Well, on Monday, we just met with them, looked at the tape, and got that all out of the way. We'll practice Tuesday, we'll practice Wednesday, and we'll practice Thursday. And then Friday we'll take off from practice, but our coaches will go on the road recruiting all day. Saturday will be off. And then Sunday we'll get back to work, which is kind of our normal deal. We work on the Sunday, and then we take the Monday off for the players. And we do it that way because we're a morning practice team. I'd really rather have Sunday off and go Monday, but if you wait to do everything with the players Monday morning, you're just not ready. There's not enough prep time for that. So we make it work on Sunday, where we do very general stuff, and then by Tuesday the game plan is pretty much in.
You've done a lot of work on Thursdays when you get ready, right at the end of the week of your preparation week. You're going into the community here, and you've been involved with Little League football.
Yeah,
how's that going?
It's been fun. Been going to a lot of these parks that have these have the youth football, like you said, different leagues, but you'll have kids 4 and 5 and maybe 6. I'm talking about putting the full pads on. Then you have 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, or whatever, and then they go up through the middle school age, and they'll all be all over the park. This one park will have teams, the Broncos or the whoever, and it's just amazing to see that football is alive and well in South Florida, I can tell you. And I've just scratched the surface. I've been probably 4 or 5 different times going to 2 or 3 different parks and just addressing the kids and telling them I love them and telling them that the Miami Hurricanes love them, and hope that, they do great things in their life and try to encourage them. Catherine and I, my wife and I, when we took this job, we're like, we want to coach ball, we want to win championships, but we want to try to do everything in our power to bless the community around us, and that's just one part of it.
Coach, when you're out there, what do the fans talk to you about? I mean, I get a chance to say hello to folks as I'm kind of walking in, and then they kind of gather up all the kids and all the families and parents will come around, and I'll kind of talk a little bit about the things that I think will help them make it in life, and talk a little bit about what we look for in a player, because a lot of them want to play college ball one day. So I tell them what I'm looking for, and then I let them do a little Q&A, which is a little dangerous sometimes. Especially with the kids.
Yeah, you got a little 5-year-old and he's asking something totally off the wall. You know what they ask the most?
What?
It'd be like you wearing that jersey, okay, and say, who wears number 16? Because like if they wear number 9, like, hey, who wears number 9? Who wears number 55? And I know like half of them maybe. I'm still trying to figure. I still need the names on their helmet, But but the kids, they want to know who wears their number. That's probably the biggest question they ask.
And I know you talk to them about grades, right? I know you always talk about the education.
Well, yeah.
side
I mean, we talk about what I'm looking for. Gotta be. I'm looking for talent. Can you help us win?
Right.
Can you help us win the league, and can you help us win a national championship? Number 2, do you have the grades? Can you do college work? And I talk about getting in the habit of being a good student when you're young, because then when you're in middle school, it's natural. It becomes natural in high school. In college, it won't be overwhelming. And then number 3, if you have those 2 things, what kind of person are you? Are you selfish? Or do you care about other people? Do you tell the truth? Are you full of baloney? Are you a good teammate? Are you a good leader? Are you a guy that your teammates can count on? And so if you have those 3 things, we're going after you full speed and all. So hopefully it makes an impression. And there's so many parents they're just thankful that you're planting the seeds, because for whatever reason, when Coach says it, they just listen a little bit more.
All right, Coach. Congratulations on the 3-0 start, the new uniforms, and
wow, that really looks good.
Yeah, we're going to grind it out here now from the rest of the year.
Oh yeah, no more breaks.
No more breaks.
Yeah, conference play begins soon.
All right, Coach. Thank you very much. And when we come back on the Mark Richt Show, we'll talk with Derek Stucker from Adidas and take a look at the new Hurricane uniforms. Welcome back to the Mark Richt Show, presented by Williamson Automotive Group. This week, the University of Miami showed off some new uniforms that will be worn this year. And joining us now from Adidas is Derek Stucker, Director of Team Services. And Derek, welcome to the show.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
And one of the reasons you are here is because, of course, during this bye week, we had the big announcement for the University of Miami, the legacy. And, of course, sitting next to me wearing the legacy
it's a legacy.
is Don Bailey with the orange jersey. Take us through the whole process of getting to the big announcement and what it was all like.
The process itself probably takes, I'd probably say 12 to 15 months, as long or as silly as that may sound. It is a very lengthy process, testing, starting with boards, going back and really getting into yearbooks and media guides and going back and kind of crafting a kind of a PDF format until you get to a sample, and once you sign off on the sample, we get to a period today where we can certainly unveil it. So overwhelmingly, our team is certainly excited, and I think the feedback so far that we've seen on both the fan base and also obviously the social media side of things has been tremendous. So super excited.
Help us with the design. Now, for many,
Yes.
many years, you put on a jersey and you put it over your pads, and then you tightened it up
Right.
and taped it up and
Right.
greased it up and tapered it to each person. Now, it's how do you get this on over a set of
You have
pads?
to squeeze yourself into it. If you take that off, it's a little square.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time breathing in this thing.
It is certainly innovative yarns. Really the fit is, and it's really a compression jersey on purpose. So when you take the jersey off, it looks like a small little sheet of paper. But certainly when you get on the pads, you might have a little help underneath the shoulders. You have certain hidden little corners that help protect your shoulders. Just all these small little things that really, from a performance standpoint, trying to make that jersey the best fitting jersey out.
And ounces, right? I mean, everything's trying to go lighter and lighter
weight,
and
exactly,
faster.
exactly. Lighter weight, wider range of motion.
Correct.
Certainly, we're trying to make the jersey a little bit tighter so you don't get tackled. There's all sorts of small little pieces that go into the development and certainly the production of the.
See, Joe, I'll give you a little lesson. I'm sure you remember this. See, you don't have to put the Vaseline on these anymore. You see, you used to have to Vaseline these babies
Not
up
much room to hold the grab here.
to get in them and to keep from getting held.
But what we do have, Derek, is we're back to the three. Well, works perfect for Adidas, right?
Yeah, three stripes. Yeah, three. There are three stripes. It is a very traditional kind of we're calling it the Legend of the U. So we've got the orange over white, the white over orange, very classic looks. I believe they may throw out a white over white occasionally. I mean, we're going to let coach and the equipment staff and the administration kind of make the final decision. But a lot of creativity, a lot of options you'll have with a certain design.
It's not only just the jersey and the pants. Of course, the helmet stays the same.
Yes,
right. Helmet stays the same,
Yep.
which everybody appreciates that. But spikes. You have a backstory to the spikes that the players are going to wear.
So again, this is part of and unfortunately we don't have a sample today to show you, but I'm sure we can get some imagery of it. A lot of fine detail that went into the shoes. So instead of your traditional synthetics, they embroidered the logos instead of just kind of a clean look. They try to take, again, what was really cool in the 80s and kind of bring it back and make it fashion forward. And it really, truly plays back into the history of the team, history of the uniforms, and certainly the history of the University of Miami.
All right, Derek, thank you very much. And we'll be back to wrap up the Mark Richt Show right after this. Welcome back to the Mark Richt Show, presented by Williamson Automotive. Joe Zagacki with Don Bailey Jr. The Hurricanes coming off a really good week, Don, against Appalachian State. A good start at 3-0.
It certainly was, Joe. It was great to take the team on the road, let them handle that environment, get them that experience, and then more importantly, come out with a big win.
Okay, so Georgia Tech is coming up. In fact, the University of Miami will have 9 straight weeks of football coming up.
That's a lot of ball, and it's a tough place to play as well. You go to Atlanta, take on Georgia Tech. It's going to be a hostile environment once again, and then it will be also an offense that Miami won't see but once a year, and that's Georgia Tech.
Hurricanes defense has been great so far. A lot of negative plays.
They have been. And Manny Diaz, the defensive coordinator, has done a phenomenal job with that entire defensive staff, and the fact that they just keep making more and more tackles for loss every single ball game is paying off.
And Mark Richt's offense has been executing at a high level.
Yeah, you love that, right? He's got the tempo offense, the running game, the pass game. Brad Kaya was in a groove at App State, and it's only going to get better.
All right, well, you look great in the jersey. I'm glad you're out of it right now so you can breathe.
Thank you, I am too.
All right, for Don Bailey Jr. and University of Miami head coach Mark Richt, I'm Joe Zagacki. We'll see you next time right here on The Mark Richt Show.